joining in. We
Okay.
wait for her.
Okay. Aldrin,
Yes, sir.
I've made a short presentation, okay, on
Okay, sir.
how to be the preferred candidate. Okay. So,
Okay, sir. Will do, sir.
hi Farin. Hi Aishwarya. Hi Kevin. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So I'm not getting any response from Kevin or any one of the others. Hey Aditi, can you hear me? Can't hear you, Aditi.
Hello everyone. Apologies from my end for not being able to join exactly on time. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Hello?
can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, Vinayak sir, tell me when you're ready to go.
Yeah, maybe wait for 1 minute more and then we start.
Okay.
I think Aditi, we can start. Kiran sir, we can start.
Okay. All right. Um, Good afternoon everyone. And I welcome you on behalf of Guru Nanak Institute of Management Studies, one of the most prestigious institutes since 2002. Um, Quickly, let's get introduced to GNMS through this video. I request the IT team to start playing the video.
SGPC's GNMS Business School is an integral part of the Khalsa College established by Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee in 1937. Located in the heart of Mumbai, it has a state-of-the-art infrastructure. And offers a plethora of courses in management. With an esteemed industry faculty and two strong pillars and a unique pedagogy with experiential learning that involves mental, physical, social and emotional activities. An intensive international internship in partnership with 17 international universities. An innovation startup entrepreneurship center that promotes startups, 95% placement with 150 plus recruiters, makes the GNMS alumni happy and well placed. JNIMS has won several awards, including being a consistent winner at AIMS. Our campus has produced many stalwarts. Thank you.
Great. I welcome Dr. Kiran Yadav, Professor Marketing Management and Director, GNIMS B School. Also, the admissions team, the IT team, and last but not the least, the team from TEDx Educom. I have to mention that it has been a pleasure for me to serve as an academic coordinator at this reputed management institute. We are all aware of the times that we are in, the times that we are heading into, which is why I would like to thank you all, first of all, for connecting with us through this webinar. The topic today is reasons to choose PGDM in 2021. As this is going to be an extensively interactive session, I request all of you to openly discuss your queries with our team. Today we have with us a prolific individual, Dr. Kiran Yadav, who will address and guide us throughout the session. Dr. Yadav is an alumnus from Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies with over 3 decades of professional experience serving in the aviation, banking, consultancy, distribution, education, and travel and tourism industry in various capacities. Along with running his own company, he also teaches at Jamnalal Bajaj. Dr. Yadav, with your permission, shall we begin?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So through some questions and answers, let's have an interactive session. Please feel free again to interrupt and ask any question you may have in your minds. So Yadav sir, to start with, please tell us, for a student, what is the mental process in pursuing a PGDM, that is right from preparation to examination?
Well, first of all, let me wish all of you a very good afternoon. And Aditi ma'am, thank you for a very generous introduction. When one says and one thinks of doing a PGDM or an MBA program, okay, the mindset, according to me, of that person, firstly, has to be extremely progressive. That means that person must have the initiation to do something in life. Uh, Top priority for a management institute aspirant is the urge to earn good amounts of money, because money is what makes a person independent. Money is what makes a person able to get what they want in life. So anyone who doesn't want to make money, anyone who doesn't want to be financially independent, okay, uh, a management in education may not necessarily be the right choice for them. Two, management education is one where a person has to learn the art of maximizing results from minimum resources. So the curiosity to find out how things work, how they can be escalated, and how they can be made into a bigger whole, how one can create wealth for oneself and others, has to be the mindset that a person needs to inculcate if they want to go in for a management education. Now, the process of going in for a management education starts by saying, okay, do I have the urge and the ability to be able to pursue a management education? Starts with saying, okay, I do. Then, how do I go about it? Point number one, I then need to find out which are the various management institutions around, what are they offering, and I need to take a look at myself and see what is it that I want, what is it that I want to do, what am I good at. and then try to make a match between what's on offer and what my personal urges are. When I evaluate a management institute, IIM Ahmedabad, there is a alumni association that is called Inside IIM, has conducted umpteen number of studies in which it is, you know, researched that what do management students look for when they look for an institute. The number one thing that management institutes students look for is placements. Okay, is this campus going to be making me prepared for good quality placements? Do good quality companies come to this campus for recruitment? Does it make my transition easy from being a student to a professional? So placements comes as the number one criteria. In order to get good placements, the students need to be prepared well. So the second most important criteria that has always cropped up is who is the faculty? What are their credentials? Where are they coming from? Are they in a position to mentor, train, and prepare students for placements? The third thing that comes up is, in order for the faculty to be able to train these students, there is going to be a methodology, or what we call as a pedagogy, that trains the students and puts into them habits that create an aptitude for problem solving and decision making. And therefore, what is the method that that institute engages in bringing out the best in the students? So pedagogy. Now, most graduates in India have been through a stage in life where we call them Marxwadi, or in other words, people who chase marks. Okay, what is the curriculum? What is the
Okay.
syllabus? What are the exams? What are the important topics? What are the important questions? And what are the answers for the important questions? And
Right.
if you got all that right, then you can maximize your score. And that's why you get 96 percentile, 97 percentile, 98 percentile, and so on and so forth. And it's become so difficult to compete. If you've got one mark less, automatically you are disqualified from many of the opportunities. Management education, however, is completely different. Management education doesn't look at marks, it looks at the person and that person's ability to be able to deliver. So, teaching methodology is extremely important while looking at a management institute. Is there project based learning? Is there a practical experience? Do I get acquainted with the problems in the industry? Do I get to connect with the people in the industry who make decisions and recruit people? How am I going to improve my own personality? How am I going to improve my skill set? Is there a learning process in that institute that will help me perform better? It's not just a matter of how good you are in English. It is found that people from the vernacular background in the long run also compete and are, if not as much, more successful than people who come from very sophisticated backgrounds. The fourth most important thing is the environment, the campus. What type of people are going to be your classmates? What type of people are going to be your mentors? What is the scenario in the campus? Is it hygienic enough? Is it socially enriching enough? Am I going to be in the midst of people from whom I am going to be able to learn different things? Or am I going to have a struggle trying to build a network? So, the fourth most important thing, according to me, while picking an MBA is the environment or the atmosphere of a campus. It has to be not only modern, state of the art, neat and clean, where all facilities are available, including tools of digitalization, but also it has to be an extremely conducive place to learning. I must feel like learning, I must feel like adding value to myself. These have been time and again coming up as the top 4 criteria for students. But there's now another more important criteria that's coming up. And that criteria is what is we call as counseling or mentoring. Most graduates who pass out are not sure what they want to do in their life. They don't know whether they want to do marketing or finance. They don't know which area of finance they would like to build on and specialize in. Okay, they don't know themselves. They don't know what they are good at. Because all this while, the decision making has been a very simple process. There has been no introspection. There has been no looking at yourself in the mirror. So I think the fifth most important thing is the mentoring process that happens at an institute, where you have somebody senior or you have a buddy who actually helps you to understand yourself better, understand your strengths better, and then convert them into realizing the opportunities that are there in the market. So these are the 5 criteria I would say are extremely important while making a good choice. Of course, the fees and the affordability also is a major issue, because there are institutes that offer education at a very low price, but then you're not sure what you're going to get out of it. There are institutions that are extremely expensive and beyond the reach of many ordinary people. But there are also institutions like GNIMS that are a midway balance between the two. They are affordable, at the same time, they are result oriented. Does that make things clear, Aditi ma'am?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, while pursuing a degree like PGDM, it's not just about the preparation towards examination. One must also be wise at choosing a management institute, about knowing the parameters of what makes a good management institute. So, sir, also before moving specifically towards GNIMS, one question though: what is the difference between a PGDM and an MBA degree?
The main difference between a PGDM and an MBA degree is that when the higher management education was introduced in this country, okay, when it was introduced through universities, okay, the people who entered the program were all graduates, okay. So it was automatic for those universities to call their programs a master's program, because what comes next after uh, undergraduate degree? That's a postgraduate degree. So they started calling it a Master of Business Administration. Mumbai University calls it a Master of Management Studies, and so on and so forth. And then simultaneously, along with that, in India, there was the launch of the IIMs, Indian Institute of Management Studies, okay, in Ahmedabad, in Bangalore, and in Calcutta. And these are known as the 3 strong pillars of management education in India. Now, however, these were not universities, so they were not able to give what is called as a master's degree. But there was a body called All India Council for Technical Education, which governs and manages the standard of higher education in India, who then came out with the concept of calling these programs postgraduate diploma in management. So what does it indicate? That the person is already a graduate and undertaking higher studies. Okay. For want of being able to call it a master's, they called it a diploma, but they called it a postgraduate diploma in management. And the whole idea was that management education is not an academic pursuit. Management education is a practical pursuit. At the end of a management program, the expectations of the students who have enrolled is that they should be able to get a good job with a good package, and they should be able to, from then on, get onto the fast track of their career. So at that point of time, whether the person was called a master's or diploma, they didn't care. What they cared was the end result. Over a period of time, however, the question arose of, if I want to do my PhD in management, okay, universities say that I need a master's degree. So AICT, UGC, and what is called as the Association of Indian Universities came up with a system of recognizing a PGDM program as equivalent to a MBA, which automatically gets person admission into a PhD program if they want to pursue it. Okay, and this, any management institute that awards you a AICTE approved PGDM, for all practical purposes, it's equivalent to a master's program. Now, the other thing about difference between PGDM and MMS or MBA is that one is run by the university. Now, if you take the example of Mumbai University has 75 colleges or institutes that dish out a MMS degree. What happens is that any change in the syllabus, any change in the program has to be agreed by all the participating 75 institutes. Okay. Whereas in an AICT driven mechanism, a institute is like an independent autonomous body. If they meet with the industry and the industry says, I want my students to learn digital marketing, I want them to know how to calculate GST and all its implications, I want them to be able to, from day one, know what is the meaning of artificial intelligence, virtual reality. I want them to learn this at the institute, and I want this to be incorporated into the syllabus. Then the AICT rules are, you can draw up a syllabus depending upon the need of the industry. You have to find competent and qualified people to teach that subject. And then you have to have an industry endorsement that says that these skills are required. And if people have these special skills, they will get employed with us. If these three criteria are met, then you make a submission to the AICT, and the AICT allows you to incorporate it into your syllabus. So that amount of flexibility to be ready with the changing world is hugely the advantage of a PGDM program. Okay, and that is the reason why industry today prefers PGDM graduates, postgraduates, because they have got the skill sets that they're looking for. They don't have to start teaching them from scratch. Okay, so that mainly is the difference between a PGDM and an MBA or a MMS program.
Okay.
And if you want to look at the positive side, the pay packages are much higher for nowadays for the PGDM than the MMS students, solely because the industry itself has demanded what it wants, and when it gets what it wants, it pays much more.
Right.
Okay, I just want to there have been always these questions that keep coming up. Okay. Okay. What do people look for when they come to a management institute and when they want to recruit? Okay, and what is it that MBA should prepare themselves in terms of getting the good jobs that they're looking for? Okay, I have coined it as a simple one-word presentation. When a company comes for recruitment to a management institute, what it looks for is called a promise. If they find a promising candidate, okay, then they will definitely recruit that candidate. Now, what does promise stand for? The P in the promise stands for the personality. You must have a pleasant, open, reachable, and warm personality. You can't be stuck up and snobbish if you want to survive in the current world. Your personality must be the one that where people feel the comfort of approaching you. Your personality must show a certain amount of grace, dignity, poise, and confidence. If you are able to come across as a person that can fulfill these conditions, then it's considered as the right personality for a job. Maybe any job, doesn't matter whether you're in finance, marketing, HR, sales, operations. Personality is important. Next point that comes in is how resourceful you are. The R stands for resourcefulness. If I give you something to work on, and if I tell you that I'm looking for the answers to these questions, how quickly you can go and find those answers, how quickly you make yourself ready to be able to chase and find what you're looking for. Okay. The third O stands for an open mindedness. Open mindedness to learning, to understanding, to getting to the bottom of things in any corporate, because you can't solve a problem unless you've understood what it is all about. The M stands for your management skills. And when we talk about management skills, basically, that's what the MBA program covers. How do you do marketing? How do you manage the finance? How do you operationalize the purpose that you are there for? How are your human resources management skills? And so on and so forth. Okay. So all the subjects that you've learned come under your management skills. The third the fifth I stands for integrity. People want people who are honest, people who can be trusted, and people who, no matter what happens, will tell the facts. If they fail, it's okay. If they're not able to crack a deal, that's fine. But who will act with an integrity, solid base on all the actions that they do. The S of the promise stands for the sincerity. A person who doesn't give up trying, a person who will use all their abilities to keep trying for success consistently. And finally, the E stands for the energy that you demonstrate, the eagerness that you are willing to jump up and take up a challenge. Okay. People may tell you that how good your knowledge is, how pit pat you are at a subject, and so on and so forth matters. Not at the fresher stage. At the fresher stage, what matters is what is the promise that you bring to the company. Okay, and any management institute that helps you with this process of becoming and delivering a good promise is a good institute for you. Right.
Right, right. Um, so, what are the most unique offerings of GNMS, or how is GNMS different from any other management institute?
See, having got the insights from the industry as to what clicks and what people are looking for, at GNMS there has been a few things that we have tried to do over a period of time. One most important thing is we've changed our teaching style to incorporate project-based learning. So everything is looked at like a problem. Okay. And if you learn how to solve problems, automatically you will become good at decision making, and automatically you will become useful to any corporate in the world. So how does one do that? One has to be able to define the problem by understanding the root cause, and by the ability to find out what are the alternatives to be solving that. Now, if you look at a problem and your solution, it's not like a mathematical game all the time. Because if you use the same solution that has been used over the last several times, you're bound to get the same results. And in this world, getting same results is no great. Okay. You have to get better results than what others are getting. And how do you get those better results? Those better results come by trying to do things in an innovative way, trying to think out of the box, and trying to create something which has never been done before. And if you want to be able to do that, then you have to be able to experiment with different factors. And therefore, in GNIMS, experiential learning is our buzzword. Okay, we don't want to teach people 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. We want to make people work and come out with solutions where 2 plus 2 can become 5, 6, or 11. Okay, based on the way they tackle that problem. What we realize is that if we want to do this, first of all, we have to get the students out into the market, into the industry. We got to make them interact with people who are doing business and learn from it hands-on. So that's one thing that we've incorporated into our system. Second, we realize that most companies in India today are not satisfied with being just Indian companies. In fact, there are hundreds of companies that are now stepping out to become multinational or global companies. And while getting out of India into the international markets, the biggest challenge they face is that they have to do everything from scratch. The manpower that they have, the managers that they have, most of them have never been overseas. Most of them have never seen the world. Okay, and therefore it becomes a relearning and challenging process. What we've done at GNIMS is, at the present moment, we have tied up with companies in 17 countries. Okay, we have taken some of the top companies, and just like we invite problems from the industry in India to be solved by our students, we also invite problems from international companies for our students to look at and solve. But not sitting in Mumbai, but actually going to the location, going to US, going to Europe, going to Far East, and working with that company for 8 weeks trying to solve a specific problem. We call this process intensive international internship. What do the students do? They look at the various problems that have come in from various countries. They apply, they get selected, and once they are selected, they actually, instead of doing their internship in India, go overseas to do their internship. When they are staying there for 8 weeks, their accommodation, their other facilities, we have tied up with local universities who provide them student accommodation and who also familiarize them and act as their local guardians while the students are there in that particular part of the world. We also ensure that a local senior professor becomes their mentor or guardian while they are in that country. And what does that professor do? Since the students are there, if they are in good numbers, they also undertake a particular course, a certified course of that university in that country whilst doing their internship. And it's a win-win situation. You go to a company, you look, the company may have a problem saying that, how do I solve my problem of marketing in East Africa? Okay, so they may have a team already working on it. Our students will go and complement that team. While they're doing that, they will stay at the university. They will meet their professor every day. They will learn from the professor a local program and get a certificate at the end of those 8 weeks. And when they finish, they will have made a presentation. They will have made a project report on the project that they did with that company and got certified by that company for having completed a project in that company, in that country. Okay. We've had students who've gone to Denmark. We've got students who've gone to UK. We've got students who've gone wanting to go to US and Canada last year. Unfortunately, for the last 2 years, the pandemic has, restrained the students from going overseas. So some of them have done it from here locally. It's a work from home scenario. But So as soon as it's ready, we will have this international exposure also very much integrated into our program. And what we've realized is that all the few years that we've done it, companies actually love the concept that my student already knows what is Denmark, has already spent 8 weeks out there, is very, very familiar with its topography, the culture, and how the local companies work. So they find these as ready-made products to be able to be deployed, and normally they pay them double the package that another classmate without the international exposure would get. So these are the two main new things that we have at GNMS. Of course, our campus is state of the art. It is as good as any top college in the world. Our faculty are all from the industry, okay, but they are more focused. Every faculty mentors 6 to 8 students. That means when the student joins, from the day the student joins till the day the students goes out of the campus, that faculty is in touch with that student on a regular basis. Of course, once the student passes and goes out of the campus, faculties have been known to be in touch with them for a lifetime. But this is sort of a engaged system that we put in place in GNMS for every student to ensure, because each student is a different personality. Some of them are very good talkers, but when it comes to mathematics, they may have a challenge. Some of them may be very shy, vernacular, and they may be very scared to open their mouths, but they may be brilliant when it comes to accounting, when it comes to getting things done. And the whole idea is to then bring out the best in people by catching them on their strengths and what they can do right, rather than what they are likely to do wrong. So that's the philosophy of GNMS. And in fact, this year we've now, because of the pandemic, in spite of the, I want to share something out here. In spite of the pandemic, GNMS has a 95% placement. And this has happened because of the recency in the knowledge of the students compared to what the industry wants. In fact, this year we have our theme, which is the GNMS 3R philosophy, which says refresh, reboot, and restart your career in the PGDM program. I hope that clarifies things.
Yes, yes, yes. So, is it likely that the students who have probably completed their internship from the III program, like you said, also get finally placed in the same company? Is there a likelihood?
Oh, absolutely. Most people who work overseas and have worked with companies, especially the Indians, they almost come back with a pre-placement offer. You know, and these offers come in various ways. Either they want them back in their country working for them, or they want those companies to represent them in India. So it's a very pleasant experience for all the students who have done in the international intensive internship.
All right, all right. So probably it will also help them start have their own startup uh,
We okay. Since
or
you
go
asked,
into entrepreneurship initiatives.
we have something called as the Innovation Startup and Entrepreneurship Center in GNMS. Okay, the whole idea of that is whoever wants to start or experiment with doing their own business, we provide a platform wherein we bring in the entrepreneurs from our alumni from across the world who can come and discuss openly with the students. How do you start a business? How do you get an idea? How do you ensure that that idea is workable? How do you convert your idea into a commercial enterprise? And over the last 3-4 years, we found that many of our students, instead of becoming job seekers, have now become job givers, because they themselves have started their own enterprise. And the whole concept of doing business on your own and making it happen is completely different from trying to do a program and seek a job. So we do have a incubator at our end that actually helps people come up with their ideas and evaluate those ideas and convert them into a business.
Sure, sure. Also, could you please elaborate on the fee structure of PGDM or probably the loan facilities that a student can avail?
Well, our fees are extremely moderate. Okay. For our PGDM program, we charge 6 lakh rupees for 2 years. For our MMS program, we charge 5 lakhs 60,000 for 2 years, as the approval we have received from the state government. Uh, since our fees are very moderate, most banks give a 100% loan at a rate of interest that can be anything between 8 to 8.5%. And huge number of our students avail of this loan facility. There are parents, and when I talk about this loan facility, it's like a study loan where the loan is money is paid by the bank today, and the repayment starts 1 year after the person has passed the course or 6 months after they have got their job. So, say for example, if somebody is taking admission in 2021, okay, they will pass out in 2023. Their loan repayment starts in 2023 end or or early 2024. And if you look at the average package that our students get, say if you look at a PGDM, it's about 4.5 lakhs. If you look at an MMS, it's about 4 lakhs. So a person is getting about 35,000 rupees or 38,000 rupees a month, out of which their EMI would range between 7,000 to 8,500 rupees. Okay. For the girls, the EMI is lower because the interest rate is 1% lesser as per the government's policy. For the boys, it's slightly higher, but that's what it is. So you're talking about paying about 1/6 of your salary towards repayment of the loan. Okay. And in this whole element, the independence factor is important. A person doesn't have to take a single penny from their parents as far as the fees and the course is concerned. Okay. But there are parents who insist that they want to pay for their children's education. Okay. Some of them may be able to pay the entire fee upfront. Some of them are in this pandemic situation a little bit stressed because of the changes in the industry and the salary cuts and things like that. So depending on the requirement of the person, we offer them installment facilities. So somebody can pay, instead of paying the 3 lakh rupees per annum at one shot, can pay 50,000 rupees every 2 months and pay the money in 6 months. So these are the type of facilities that are available for the students in our institute.
Right, right. So, Yadav sir, you've spoken about how to go about choosing a management institute. How is DNIMS different? What is the difference between PGDM and an MBA? The international exposure offered at Sunbeam, the fee structure. You've also spoken about the 3 R's, the principles that GNIMS stands for. However, what are our expectations from our students? What do we expect from them?
That's a very good question, Aditi ma'am. Our expectations from our students are similar to what the industry expects out of them. Okay, we want to enroll and admit students who seem to be promising enough to commit themselves to success. Okay, we are looking for students who demonstrate a certain amount of energy which they want to put into learning the process of management and business. We want students who are honest, who are eager to prove themselves. Okay, we want students who will commit to go through the grind. If they take a project, they will give it their best shot. They will complete it, because when somebody does all these things, the learning happens. If somebody does a cut and paste job, or if somebody doesn't pay much attention to whatever is being taught, then the chances are that that person may not get a full value addition out of the program. So we are looking for candidates whom we can add value to. We are not concerned about their CET scores and their other scores. As long as they meet the basic criteria, they must have a 50% in their graduation and they must have a decent CET score. But if I'm able to meet a person for 10 minutes and at the end of 10 minutes, I feel convinced that this student is a person who we can mentor to become a very successful leader and a manager in the future, we will admit them into the institute. That's our criteria. Okay. And in that, we want the strongest word that I can use is commitment. Commitment to oneself to excel. Commitment to try and make a difference to themselves, their families, and the society at large. And if the person has got that commitment, then everything else doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you are a master of English, whether you can do public speaking, whether you are, great at tallying the balance sheet, doesn't matter. All those are acquired skills. Those you can learn. But integrity in terms of wanting to do something, sincerity and commitment has to come from the you. Okay. And if that's there, then we don't see any reason why we will not look at the candidate.
Right, right. Thank you, sir.
So if there are there, I have another meeting to attend. So if there are no more questions, then I would like to.
To those present,
anyone who has any questions, please feel free to ask me, and I can take a few questions and then.
I think you were pretty clear, crystal clear, and up to the point, sir.
Okay. So thank you for inviting me to this session. Thank you for those of you who have attended. I hope I've made sense to you, and I hope it has benefited you in some way to be able to make more better decisions in terms of your pursuit for an MBA program. And all the best. Stay safe, stay healthy, and do get in touch with us. And if you need any further help in terms of your pursuit for a PGDM program at GNIMS, we are always welcome to help you out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.